welcome to the Mecca of Mastery TV. I am your host, Mecca. If it is your mission to become the greatest version of yourself in every area of life, then you are in the right place. I'm so excited about this video, as I state in every single video, because in this episode we are speaking about personal and spiritual development. And the topic of this video is what failure really is. Let's get straight into the video. So if you ventured out into the world and you ventured out to aim to hit something, you hit a target or hit a goal and you missed, right? You tried to shoot your shot and you missed it. Did you really fail? Like, did you really fail? Is that a failure? What is failure? Ask yourself that question right now. What comes up in your head? Because what comes up in your head may be the reason why you keep failing in life. Let me tell you something. See, we are brought up, we are raised, our whole government, our whole system in general, right? The whole standard system that we live by in itself steer us in the wrong direction. Sometimes we have people who raise us, and our parents, our community, our social groups and our settings, our environment, the neighborhood we live in general, their perception on success and failures is basically pushed down into our beliefs, and we believe that failure or success is somebody else's point of view of it. And because we perceive things in a way that somebody else has given to us, right, how they gave it to us, we're left thinking that failure is a bad thing, or that failure is wrong, and that is the reason why we fail. Let me tell you something. I realized that there's really no such thing as failure. If you want to call it something, say failure, but then don't allow failure to be something that stops you from going ahead, right? That look completely just make you just want to tap out in whatever area of life. Is it really a failure if you shoot your shot at a relationship and you miss? It's not, and let me tell you why. A newborn baby, okay, 1-year-old child, learning to walk, fall down several times, hundreds, thousands, millions, who knows, before this child is able to walk. Might tumble down some stairs, hit your head up against the window, probably slide somewhere, get a bump on your forehead, crawl, got to do everything that they can before they learn how to walk. Would you call a child, an infant, a failure, learning how to walk because they fell down 1,000,000 times before they learn how to walk? Are they a failure? No, because it's a normal human process. You're going to keep falling down. It's just like trying to ride a bike. You put your trainers, your training wheels on the side of the actual big wheels, and those help you, and you wobble side to side, and then you take the training wheels off, and then eventually you're going to fall until you learn how to keep the balance. It's the same thing. So why is it when you go out into the world and you try to shoot a shot at love, or you shoot a shot at business and you miss that shot, and then you call yourself a failure? Why is it that you do that? That's the normal process of going to do something that you've never done before. You see things in a different point of view, right? When you look at failure differently, because you're shooting your shot at something and you're missing. You're learning. It's the normal process. You are learning. You are trying to see what's right and what's wrong, what works and what doesn't work. When you say that you failed and you got it wrong, that causes more failure. That's like negative energy. You telling yourself that you can't do it. When you give up after a divorce, after 3 relationships that didn't go right, you saying, oh, love isn't meant for me. Or you just go to the same sex and you just say, oh, I'm just going to live the single life because love isn't meant for me. I've tried and I failed. No, you didn't do that. You're figuring out what you don't want in the relationship. You're figuring out what you do want in the relationship. That's not to say that you have failed. You can't say you failed at something when you keep shooting your shot and then missing. It's not a failure. You're learning what's working and what's not working. So the solution to this is to change your perception around what failure really is, because failure is not getting it right all the time. Just think about it. Like, that's not life in general. If that's the case, you might as well say life is one big fucking failure, right? Because here, you take the tree, for example. One day he's green, he's bearing fruit, right? He's bearing fruit, he's green, his leaves and flowers is one way. And then all of a sudden, here comes, you know, one fall season, then all his leaves are turning brown, they're falling around, and he's, oh wow, the branches right behind him blowing away. Now it's just him. He has nothing left. Would you call the tree a failure? Would you call life a failure? No, because that's the normal process. It's the normal process. So you can't say that because you tried at love and you missed, because you tried with your health and you missed, because you can't get it right today in the gym, because you can't get it right today with your spirituality, that you are a failure in life. No, you are trying and you are seeing what doesn't work. So basically, you can say, oh wow, I tried to meditate early in the morning, but knowing that I got 3 kids, that's not going to work for me. It doesn't mean that you failed. You need to figure out a time that works better for you. Maybe when they go to school, and as soon as you drop them off, you got 15 minutes in the car right there. There you go. Right. You're not a failure. You're figuring out what does not work. All my relationships in the past, it's taken me closer to my husband. Because I found out more about myself, I learned more about men, I learned more about communication, about love, about time, about commitment, all of that. When these things don't go how I plan them to go. When I say, okay, this is the target is building a family, being married, and being in a relationship with somebody, in my soulmate. Well, I'll keep trying and trying and trying, and that's not working for me. I realize this is not it. This is not in the formula of what I want in a relationship. So, lesson learned. The next guy, maybe you're going to be the husband, maybe not. Who knows, right? But I'm not a failure. Not a failure, no. And I learned this from Will Smith. He said, fail forward, fail fast. Because the quicker you fail, the more mistakes that you make, the closer you become to your goal, right? The more shots you shoot and you miss, the more you perfect and you shoot in your shot. Now, no, don't look at this like, oh, let me just go ahead and go out there, take relationships, for example. Let me just go out here and go out there and just, you know, try to date as many men as women as possible and have sex with as many people. No, don't be stupid. You know right from wrong. You know what you're doing. If you really give your 1,000% to something, right, and it does not work out, you did not fail. If you don't give yourself 1,000% at something and it don't work out, you know your ass needs to do better. It ain't got nothing to do about failing. If you give your 1,010% towards something and it doesn't work out, it was just a learning lesson, and that's all it is. Change your perception around failure. It's a lesson. It's like school. It's free game for real when you think about it. You shoot a shot and you miss. Lesson learned. That last relationship that I was in, that was a lesson for me. That made it better for the relationship that I'm in now, because all the things I learned then, like I didn't know that communication was as important and vital as it is now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that sex was something that was very sacred, or having a spiritual foundation was something that was very good in a relationship. I learned that in that previous relationship. If I hadn't gone through that with that man, I wouldn't do it in the relationship that I'm in now. You feel me? So you're not a failure. Keep shooting shots. You'll get to that goal. And remember, it's not about the goal that matters. It's the journey towards getting there. And I'm going to leave you with that, for you to ponder on that. It's not about the goal. It's the journey getting there. That's where the real tools and the jewels and the gems and the gold and the diamonds lay. That's the real, you know, the pudding in the pie and all of that good stuff. Honey, what you become, what you learn, you know, what you gain, what you experience. And with that being said, I hope that you love this video. You share this with somebody that you care about, because we always say here at Mecca Mastery TV that sharing is caring. And I just want you to know that I love you. I want you to go out into the world. You send your love and your energy out. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. Make sure that you email me at meccabookings@gmail.com if you want one-on-one coaching, or just to simply say hello or ask for some advice. Make sure you contact me and you keep in touch with me on every social platform, because I want to be in your life and your business. I want to watch your stories on Instagram, see what you're doing day in, day out, you know, whatever, what you eating, hey girl, what you doing, your little dogs and your kids, oh, and I just want you I'm so crazy. I'm sending my love, my light, and my peace, my energy, all type of vibes your way. Until next time, I see you in the next episode. Peace. You're not a failure. Remember that.